Good morning, students. Again, we will continue the chapter 1 Life of the Green World. But the topic for today is agriculture and crops. So, first I will explain you agriculture. It means agriculture. Human population is increasing day by day. Because of this, there is an increasing demand for food. A majority of our food comes from plants. Therefore, there is a need to grow plants that provide us food. The practice of growing plants for food and other useful purposes is called agriculture. So it means we mostly depend on plants for our food. We get vegetables, grains, fruits, pulses, sugar, tea, etc. from plants. Besides this, we also get cotton and jute from plants. To get these things, plants are grown on a large scale. It means plants are grown on a large scale. So, the practice of growing plants on a large scale for food and other purposes is known as agriculture. So, what is the definition of the agriculture is? The practice of growing plants for food and other useful purposes is called agriculture. So, it is a definition of the agriculture. So, next topic is crops. It means plants of the same kind when grown on a large scale in the field. On a large scale, it means which plants are grown on a large scale in the field during a particular season are called crops. So, this is a particular definition of the crops is कि plants of the same kind when grown on a large scale in the field during a particular season are called crops. So, what is the examples of the crops? Examples are wheat, rice, maize and vegetables. These are the examples of the crops. So, crops may be of two types. Mainly crops are two types. It means cereal crops and pulses. Cereal crops it means wheat, rice, maize. These are the examples of the cereal crops. And pulses it means lentil. Lentil it means मसूर. मसूर की दाल आपने देखी होगी, उसको इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं lentil. And chickpea. चिकपी को बोलते हैं काबुली चना. So, lentil and chickpea both are the pulses. And vegetables crops and fruit crops. So, vegetables crops examples tomato, cauliflower. These are the examples of the vegetable crops. And mango, banana and orange. These are the fruit crops. So, basically crops are divided into two types. Cereal crops and pulses, vegetables crops and fruit crops. Different crops are grown in different season. Different types of crops are grown in a different season. So, farmers grow different kinds of crops according to the season. So, on the basis of the season, they are grouped as kharif crops and rabi crops. It means on the basis of the seasons. So, basis of the seasons, so crops are grouped into two types, kharif crops and rabi crops. So, first of all explain here kharif crops. What is the kharif crops? Kharif crops are grown in a rainy season. Which crops are grown in a rainy season? So, this types of crops is known as kharif crops. So, crops that are shown in rainy season, month of the rainy season is June to September. These are the month of the rainy season. So, in this season, which crops are grown? So, this types of crop is known as kharif crops. So, what is the examples of the kharif crops? The examples of kharif crops are rice, maize, jowar, bajra and cotton. These are the examples of the kharif crops. And kharif crops are harvested in October and November. when these crops are grown and they are harvested by October and November. Next, Rabi crops. It means which crops are grown in winter season. So this types of crops is known as Rabi crops. So crops that are shown in winter, it means November to March, and harvested in April are called Rabi crops. So these types of crops is known as Rabi crops. What are the examples of the Rabi crops? Examples are wheat, barley, gram and pea. This is the picture of the wheat, this is the picture of the gram and this is the picture of the pea. So these types of crops is grown in winter season. So these types of crops is known as Rabi crops. Is that clear? So one question is arises here, ki what is the difference between the Kharif crops and Rabi crops? So first give the answer Kharif crops. Which crops are grown in summer season? So these types of crops is known as Kharif crops. And which crops are grown in winter season? So these types of crops is known as Rabi crops. Is that clear? So now next point is crops need care. In order to get food yield, farmers add manure in the soil. So what is the meaning of the manure? So manure is a natural substance made of the dead and decomposed plant part and animals' dung. So this types of substance is known as manure. And farmers also add fertilizers to the soil to increase crop productions. Some of the common fertilizers used are urea and superphosphate and ammonium sulfate. These are the fertilizers which farmers are used for the crops. Use of the fertilizers for long time is harmful for the soil as well as crops. If we use these types of fertilizer for a long time, so it is very harmful for the soil as well as crops. To get a good crops, farmer follow few steps. So first step is plugging. This picture is showing is plugging. Plugging in the digging of soil with the help of plug drawn either by animals or by tractors. It helps to loosen the soil. So what is the meaning of the particular meaning of the plugging is plugging to loosen soil or turn down. It means so that the nutrients in the soil get mixed easily. So this practice loosen in the soil is known as plugging. So first step is clear, plugging. This is the plugging. Next step is showing. Seeds are shown at the right depth in the soil. Healthy and ripe seeds of the best variety and selected are shown. It means showing a definite as the process of placing the seeds in the soil to germinate and grown into a new plants. So this is the showing. This is the picture showing. Next step is manuring. This picture is manuring. So what is the meaning of the manuring? Manuring meaning it means to add nutrition in the soil. For good crops yield, it is important to provide complete nutrition to plants. This is done by manuring. Manuring, what is the meaning of manuring? Manuring is the organic waste of animals. It means we need to add nutrition to the soil because different crops need different types of nutrition and it can be done by fertilizers. Certain chemical substances which are known as fertilizers. Is the clear manuring? Next step is irrigation. This picture is shown in the irrigation. Plants need water. The process of watering the plants in the field is called irrigation. What is the particular definition of irrigation is? Plants need water. The process of watering the plants in the field is called irrigation. There are various ways to irrigate the field such as canal system, tube wells, duck wells, rivers and pond. It means irrigation is a very important step, because this is a step or process in which water is provided to the crops on a regular basis. As you all know, without water plants cannot grow. So rain is primary source of water to the crops, but there are certain method of the irrigation such as canal system, tube well, duck wells, rivers or ponds. Is that clear? What is the meaning of the irrigation? Next step is spraying or insecticides. Spraying or insecticide, it means killing the pest and rodents and pest. Farmers spray chemicals such as pesticides, insecticides to kill the insects that attract the crops. It means when crops starts maturing and back to bear seeds, what happens? Insecticides or rodent likes rat and birds may eat and destroy the crops, and entire handwork of farmers will go in waste. So to avoid it from protect their crops with the help of insecticides or pesticides. To this crop is protect in insects and pests eaten them. This is known as spraying of insecticides. Next step is harvesting. Harvesting, it means harvesting is the process of gathering mature crops from the fields. Harvesting includes the wrapping, it means cutting of the standing crops, and winnowing, it means separation the grains from the chaff. So the harvested yield is then sent for the sale or for storage. Is it clear? Next step is storing. When crops is cutting, standing, and after the crops storing, the harvested yield has to be the stored in a facility that protect it from climatic hazards, pests and rodents. So the yield thereby is protected for further use. So I hope students this topic is clear to you. Kindly go through this link provided with the video, and thank you.